All right, good morning, everybody. It's your boy Akeem here to give you a quick week recap of championship week of the 2015 college football season. Did a pretty good job with my picks this week. Only one loss this week, and that was with my upset game of the week between Stanford and USC. I went with the Trojans to pull off the upset this week, but Stanford running back Christian McCaffrey had a big game, well over 300 yards of total offense and over 400 yards of all-purpose. And he's definitely one of the leading candidates for this year's Heisman Trophy. He had over 200 yards on the ground and over 100 yards in the air and a rushing touchdown as well as a receiving touchdown. He is definitely deserved to go to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony and leading this team to a great Pac-12 championship. Next up, Michigan State played a close one against Iowa. I went with the Spartans in this one due to pretty much a late quarter of touchdown run by L.J. Smith. He had over 70 yards rushing in that game, 73 yards to be exact. Now, Iowa did have a couple of key losses in the matchup, particularly at running back with Jordan Canzeri. He was hurt in the middle of the game, but I don't really think that was too much of a factor in this one. Michigan State's defense did a great job stopping the run. Now, they had definitely gave up a couple of big yardage plays to receiver Tavon Smith, who had 100 yards and a touchdown reception in this matchup, but Michigan State did well enough to pull off the three-point escape. Next up in the ACC Championship, I told you guys this was a well-deserved game of the week where these two teams actually combined for 82 points, in which Clemson pulled off a 45-37 victory. Clemson quarterback and ACC Player of the Year award winner Deshaun Watson had a big game, 289 yards in the air to actually go along with 132 yards on the ground and five total touchdowns. And he's definitely going to get a trip to New York for the Heisman Trophy. And for UNC, they actually put up a pretty good fight. They were actually behind for most of the game, but they tried to close the gap. They made a couple of mistakes in the second half in which Clemson did make a couple of adjustments. Now, this was a great victory for Clemson, and they will make the college football playoff. Now, next up in the Mountain West Championship, that was another close battle between the Aztecs of San Diego State and the Falcons of Air Force, in which the Aztecs did pull a three-point victory, 27-24. SEC Championship, I told you guys I went with the Tide in this one, over Florida 29-15. Derrick Henry had 189 yards on the ground, and he was a great running back in this matchup. Now, he was actually held a lot of times in the game, but I told you guys that they kept feeding him the rock. He was going to wear down that Florida defense, just like how Dalvin Cook did last week in that rivalry matchup between Florida State and Florida. Definitely Alabama will make it to the playoff at the end of the season, along with Clemson. In the Conference USA title, I thought this was going to be a close battle, but quarterback Brandon Daugherty had otherwise definitely pulled off a great big win in the conference championship, ended his senior season and ended his career for the Hilltoppers as conference champs and making it to a good bowl matchup and leading the team 45-28. In the American Athletic Conference, Houston pulled off a great 24-13 victory over Temple, and Houston should get one of the biggest bowl wins in college football after New Year's. I think this is a good Houston Cougar team, and I think they're going to be waiting who will be their opponents. Bowling Green in Northern Illinois, 34-14. I went with the Falcons in this one. They should have a good bowl matchup as well. Now, overall for my college football playoff and my prediction, I just mentioned Alabama and Clemson will get in. I think the other 9 will have to go to Michigan State because they are the Big Ten champs. And the last team that I think they should go in is the Oklahoma Sooners because they won the Big 12 championship, only one loss to my Texas Longhorns. So those are the top 4 seeded teams. The number 1 team will be Clemson. Number 2, I will go with Alabama. Number 3, I will actually bump Michigan State over Oklahoma. That's just my opinion, but Oklahoma will still be ranked in the top team. The reason why I have to put Michigan State over Oklahoma is because they actually played in a conference championship, and I have to give them a nod just a little bit over Oklahoma, even though most people will probably think that OU is the better team, but OU should still get a nod in the college football playoff. Now, the next time to catch you guys will be next week, in which we will see what happens later on in the season, and I will give you my prediction of the Navy-Army matchup. Thank you for watching today's blog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.